Hey everyone, Kilo here. So my wife and I moved to San Antonio from San Diego about 10 months ago. And this is a video that I'm gonna make of 10 things that I noticed as a San Diegan that was very different in San Antonio. So this might be a fun video for those of you that are in the same predicament where you guys are thinking about going to San Antonio, already in San Antonio, and you're from San Diego. So I got a list of 10 things. So I'm gonna share it out. First, I have a list, I can't remember it. So the first thing that I noticed, my wife and I both noticed in San Antonio is the drivers here are way more courteous. In San Diego, if you put the left signal up or the right signal when you're trying to change, that was a clear indication for the other driver to floor their fucking gas so you would not be able to get in front of them. Here, if you put your signal up, San Antonian drivers, they slow down and let you in the lane. And that was a pleasant surprise for us. The second thing that I noticed, particularly here in San Antonio, is a no-brainer. The houses here are so freaking cheap. They are ridiculously cheaper. The mortgage that my wife and I paid for this house is cheaper than the rent for the apartment that we were taking in San Diego. San Diego apartment that we were having was built in the 70s. It was a 900 square foot apartment, old ass utensils and whatnot. And we were paying about, it was about $19.25, I think, per month. This house that we bought, it was built in 2019, May, has the latest shit, 2,600 square foot, and our mortgage is about $1,800. The housing prices here are significantly better. Third one, we noticed, this was strange. Car insurance is a lot more expensive in San Antonio than in San Diego. My wife and I, when we moved out here, our car insurance increased by $60. We had no idea why, it just increased. And when we asked car insurance, they told us San Antonio has far more claims than in San Diego. So that's something you guys are gonna notice for sure. That in San Antonio, your car insurance is gonna skyrocket compared to San Diego. Not everything's cheaper in San Antonio compared to San Diego. Fourth one that we noticed, gas is cheaper. The gas when I went back to visit my friend's first birthday, like in August, was about $3.65. Gas price here in San Antonio is $1.98. $1.98. I don't even go to Costco no more because I don't need to. Gas is so freaking cheap here. That's why that's probably the reason why I don't see that many Teslas out here. It doesn't make any sense to get an electric car when gas is so fucking cheap. Gas is cheaper in San Antonio by a lot. It feels like I'm going expensive, cheap, but the fifth thing that I noticed is that in San Antonio, the groceries are more expensive. The produce is far more expensive than in San Diego. I think probably by 20% more money we were paying compared to San Diego. So that's something that we noticed. Groceries are more expensive in San Antonio than compared to San Diego. Oh man, this one sucked. Number 6. So in San Diego, you can get beer anywhere. You didn't have to go to a bar. You can go to fucking Chuck E. Cheese and get yourself a Stone IPA. That's how awesome San Diego was. But in San Antonio, you can't do that. You can't go to any restaurant and get a beer. You can't expect to get a beer anywhere. You have to go to a bar. I remember my family and I were all going to a Mexican restaurant. I was like, what do you guys have on draft? And they're like, what? I was like, what do you guys have for beer? And they're like, we have Mexican beer and American beer. So they're talking about Bud Light and Tecate. In San Diego, man, they had every freaking thing. That's what I miss about San Diego. Okay, so in San Antonio, you can't get beer. There's not a good beer selection outside of a bar. Number 7. So in San Diego, everyone is single. They're either single or they're not ready to settle down. They're all about that life, that dating life. Here in San Antonio, everyone's with somebody. There's so many couples here. No one here is pretty much single. It's freaking crazy. So that's something that I noticed. If you're single and you're trying to find somebody, stay in San Diego. Don't come to San Antonio. It's gonna be really hard for you to find somebody. Number 8, our cellular reception drops out in a lot of places in San Antonio compared to San Diego. You can go pretty much anywhere in San Diego and get a decent cellular reception. No problem. Here in San Antonio, there's a lot of places that you have one bar or no bars. Like this house that we bought, I had to buy a microcell. That's like basically a mini antenna to go to AT&T in order for us to get a good cellular reception. The only spot that I had for good cellular reception was at my corner of my garage. So that's something that I noticed here. In San Antonio, there's a lot of cellular dead spots. I think it's getting better, but that's something different that I noticed from San Diego. All right, number 9. So of course the driving here is different than California, but there's a shit ton of yield signs. You yield a lot. You yield before you go. There's yield signs everywhere. Here's something that caught me off guard. I'm coming through the freeway. So the merging traffic that's entering the freeway, there's a yield sign. So you literally stop in your lane, the freeway, and let these people coming into the freeway. They have the right of way. Now, you're in a freeway, you stop, you let them in. It's weird shit like that. There's yield signs everywhere here in San Antonio, everywhere. That's something that I noticed here compared to San Diego, and I don't like it. Some of it, San Diego instilling me, and some of it doesn't really make any sense to me. Number 10, this is the best fucking thing about San Antonio if you're moving from San Diego. There is no income tax. No income tax. So if in San Diego, well, it's California pretty much. In San Diego, if you made more money, you pretty much got penalized. If you made $100,000, guess what? You're gonna have more higher income tax. Here, you can make $1 million. None of it's gonna be income taxed. If that's your income, you're not gonna get taxed on it. The way that the taxes here is only for housing. If you own a house like I do, then you get taxed. My paycheck just moving out here increased by $300. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. I didn't explain it, but I'm in the same, the company that I work for, they built another subdivision, so I just transferred over here. Nothing changed, same rule, everything. My paycheck increased by $300 just for moving out here in San Antonio. Your money really goes a lot more here in San Antonio compared to San Diego. Those are the 10 things that immediately caught my eye when I moved out here from San Diego. Now there's 100 things I could talk about, but I just decided to stick with these 10. These are the 10 things that I guarantee you will notice as well if you move from San Diego to San Antonio. Hope you guys liked the video. Thanks.